Okay, duelists, so we're going to be taking a bit of a trek off the beaten path today to talk about some Yu-Gi-Oh! Twitter drama and some general Yu-Gi-Oh! Community issues that sort of follow it. So for those of you guys who have no clue what I'm talking about, our story begins on Twitter, or X, with Papa Mutt, VTuber Dog Dad, that's his Twitter bio. He decided to play Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time in many, many years, did not have a great experience, and tweeted about it. He says, tried playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For the first time in years. Good lord, this game is awful. I just watched some dork turn one combo his deck for no joke, 37 minutes. I played a game of TFT ranked before they were done with their first turn. Y'all, you know Solitaire already exists, right? So, a lot to unpack there. He says that the game took forever. He calls it Solitaire. It's maybe not the nicest, most positive tweet. Well, anyways, some people start responding, understandably. You can see lots of engagement here. The most popular response was from Atrocity. They say, stop fear-mongering the game for clout. It dissuades people that actually want to give it a shot from trying because they don't know you're over-exaggerating. And this got a lot of likes, as well as some other opinions about it. That might be a bit of foreshadowing for later. But yeah, so let's break this tweet down really quickly. First of all, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel game can't actually, or a turn can't actually take 37 minutes. There's a turn timer, so the most that the game could go in real time would be like 5 or maybe 10 minutes on the more extreme end. So this is hyperbole, he's exaggerating, probably, in the way that most people on Twitter exaggerate things to get likes and clicks and all that. And he kind of makes this dunk about Solitaire and all of that. People start responding. There's a lot of different responses people have. Some people are just saying like, come on, man, that's not true. You're misrepresenting the situation. Some people say, oh, my friend talked me into trying it today, and now I'm not so sure. Some people say Yu-Gi-Oh! Is unironically the worst TCG. They ruined it the moment they added Xyz and Synchros. And just kind of a whole slew of other things that people have to say, right? These are funny, they're not true, or, like, this is how modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Goes, and it's just, he's being a hypocrite, whatever, right? So we go on, and he says that since people are acting goofy in his DMs and replies, he uploads this video sped up. Turn this volume down a little bit. Yeah, 500% sped up video of his experience. Looks like he's playing against Gishki FTK. This is a deck I've actually played against in Master Duel myself, maybe like twice. It's not maybe the most pleasant thing because the turn does go pretty long. It's not a very common deck that you'll play against, but I guess you could face other similar combo decks if you play. He says, my bad if I don't find this fun, but based on these replies, not sure if I want to play at all. And he adds his fun little Solitaire gameplay in the corner to, I guess, further hone in his point. He says his turn one was just setting a card, their turn one was doing all this crazy stuff. And again, people kind of have different takes on it. Some people are saying, well, you're lying. MBT says that might have been the dual logs. That'd be funny if it actually was. And the quote retweets are pretty harsh, as a person points out here. And that is true. The quote retweets, which I won't show because there are some that aren't like really very cool, but you can scroll through them yourself if you want, are not very nice. People are kind of dunking on him. Some people are saying like, get good scrubs, learn how to play hand traps. Other people are telling him maybe like something different, like KYS or whatever. I don't know. So this is where the story takes a bit of a turn because people check the receipts and find out from his stream VODs that he's actually playing an Exodia deck. So Shark Yu-Gi-Oh! Just a Twitter account, they say, he was already playing Deep Draw Exodia, a deck notorious for 20 plus minutes of zero interactions. He cropped his hand and covered up his set Royal Magical Library to try and force a narrative. Everyone dragging him in the quote retweets is completely justified and should continue to do so. And continue they do. If you just sort of see here, a lot of people have all kinds of things to say about him. The fact that he's a furry, the fact that maybe he's lying, misrepresenting things. He might think Exodia is cool, or somebody says that Deep Draw Exodia doesn't run Raigeki, so maybe he's just a newer player, doesn't know how to play it. There's all kinds of opinions here. You can go through them all. And our story basically ends with Papa Mutt, after I guess facing a lot of backlash for this, saying, haha, okay, I get it gamers, my bad. I promise I won't play Yu-Gi-Oh! Ever again. I've uninstalled the game, I won't talk about it, stream it. You guys win, y'all are built different. Please stop telling me to die in DMs. You guys win, your card game is safe for me playing it. Thank you to everybody who sent a kind message. I muted all the threads from yesterday. I have no desire to engage with that community anymore. So, what do we have here? A lot, just a lot to say. So, first and foremost, I think that Papa Mutt definitely did misrepresent the situation, right? He cropped out his hand on purpose because I think he knew, you know, the Exodia deck is similarly uninteractive, and that would probably shape people's opinions of the situation. But the experience that he had here is not exactly a new or novel one, right? There are a lot of people who play Master Duel, and I think it's been happening more now because Master Duel is this very accessible way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! It's on Steam, so you get a lot of, you know, VTubers and other variety streamers just trying it out for the first time because it's there. They remember playing a long time ago. They play Master Duel, things get a little rough, they have a bad experience, they tweet about it, and then it all kind of goes to shit. As for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Player side of things, I think people are right to, you know, call out that maybe there is a little bit of hypocrisy here and that like there's certainly some hyperbole for clicks happening. But I just walk away from the situation not feeling very good about any of it from any sides. Because yes, him misrepresenting the game makes it harder for a newcomer to want to give the thing a shot. But also, I don't know, I mean, when I see things like, come on guys, let's keep dragging him in the quote retweets, or he must be mentally ill, or something like that, is that really a win? I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, sure, I guess when things sort of turned on him, he spun the narrative and said that like, you know, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Players had all bullied him. But they did bully him, at least some did. I do believe that there are people who probably said some really terrible stuff. I saw some quote retweets, and probably in his DMs and all that. And we all just end with a person leaving the community with a bad taste in their mouth. And I think zooming out a little bit, anybody just seeing this sort of like in the tertiary view, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, we don't exactly come out looking better for it either, right? Now, in our defense, people show up, they insult our favorite game, we want to defend it. We want to say, hey, you could play some hand traps. Hey, you could play some board breakers. Hey, here's how like this strategy works. Here's what you could do or what sort of deck you could build to play against it. But the thing is, I think that the internet can quickly spiral things into more of a just like a battlefield, right? Where he's dunking on our game, we gotta dunk on him back. He's trying to, you know, rage bait. Well, we are gonna take the bait and we're gonna like, you know, fight him back. And it just, we're sort of losing track of the big picture here, which is that this is a valid criticism that can happen in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think there are things that can be done about it. I think on Konami's end, Master Duel could do a better job with its tutorial modes and its solo gates. The game really doesn't prepare you for what, you know, is actually out there in the ranked ladder, right? People's opinions of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are that it's like how it was in the playground or how it was when I watched the anime, but the game is nothing like that today. It can be overwhelming. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot of fun when you do know how to play it. I don't think that Yu-Gi-Oh!'s rules are overcomplicated. That's always going to be kind of one of my takes that I'll give is people say Yu-Gi-Oh! Has too many rules. I don't think so. I disagree. I think that Yu-Gi-Oh!'s rules are intuitive and make sense, but when you are thrown into it for the first time, it happens really fast. It is really overwhelming, and if you don't have, you know, a guide that says, hey, here's hand traps and how they work. Hey, here's board breakers. You can use Dark Ruler No More. You can use Nibiru to like stay in the game. Then yeah, people are going to continue to have this bad experience and continue to take to Twitter or other places and tell their friends or fans or followers that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has just gone off the rails. I think it's our responsibility then to have patience and understanding here. And so instead of, you know, trying to dunk on people or calling them mentally ill, it might be better to offer, you know, some sort of help, assistance, coaching. Sure, I really think Konami needs to maybe be doing more on their part to help with that too. But I think that just scoring internet points and then scaring people off from the community doesn't do us a good, like it just doesn't put us in the most positive light. There are some examples though of this having kind of more of a happy ending, so I wanted to bring those up really quickly. The first one is Raran. So you guys probably know about this video. MBT and Farfa have kind of talked about this guy. He is a Hearthstone YouTuber, but he did a video a couple months back where I spent 10 hours learning Yu-Gi-Oh! To prove that it's ridiculous. And I'll just show a couple of quick clips from it.
I'm gonna play this game for 10 hours, and I'm gonna do this to showcase to all of you how ridiculous this game ends up being.
Yeah, so people wanted me to react to this video. I never really got to, so this is, I guess, as close as it gets.
The biggest difference being there's not really a mana resource system. You can kind of just play cards if your cards allow you to, and not to mention how long some of the card text actually is. From an outsider's perspective, Yu-Gi-Oh! Seems like the most ridiculous card game that exists.
Okay, so he makes this video. He has some crazy moments. You know,
How long is
has
this
this
gonna
part
take? I'm
where
gonna
he's
get a
like,
drink
"Yep,
while this guy's doing his turn. I'll come back and see what I missed. Give me
I'm
a
gonna
second.
go and get a drink," and it continues to happen and all that stuff. Well, to fast forward, I like that even though this video does not have a super positive slant, he later goes on to actually play some Edison format with Simo. in a video.
And that actually saves you from losing.
Yes, I love not losing. All right.
We'll just get in for 8.
Yeah, so he actually gets to play Edison format. It's a much more tame, manageable, kind of accessible form of Yu-Gi-Oh! And this has a happy ending, right? He also ended up going on Farfa's stream, and people kind of helped him out, and there was just like, there's a nice sort of happy ending vibe here. It didn't end with him angrily leaving the community and saying that all Yu-Gi-Oh! Players are just a joke for playing this game. So I think that's a really good example of it working out well. Another situation that I wanted to point out was Ludwig's YouTuber tournament. So Ludwig did this back in, I want to say it was like, December of last year, where he kind of had this YouTuber thing with mainstream YouTubers like Sykkuno and Fuslie and Moist Critical. And they played Yu-Gi-Oh! And it was mostly just anime decks, and they were having a bit of a laugh. Some highlights.
Okay, well, I can kill this thing, surely.
Can.
Oh, wait, I can just melt your life points. Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's funny moments like that. There's also some typical jokes you hear about like Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards having too much text.
Oh.
There's a lot of words on that card, and I'm not reading them.
If you target...
No, return up.
Yeah, so this was another instance of, you know, people kind of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And to some degree misrepresenting it, not really knowing what's going on, but people really liked this video. It was fun. A lot of people said it, you know, brought back their childhood feelings of Yu-Gi-Oh! I know nothing about this game, but it was hilarious, you know, do some more. Seeing all these card effects was like really epic. You know, there's like a mirror forest, my deck has no pathetic cards, the Shadow Realm. I felt like I was watching, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. And so I think that it reminds me basically that Yu-Gi-Oh! Exists almost in 2 realms, maybe even 3. There are people like me, or you probably if you're watching this, where we've played Yu-Gi-Oh! We know how it goes, we know the nuances of modern day Yu-Gi-Oh! And we can enjoy it, maybe even in spite of them. But we're also the same people who, when, you know, an outsider comes in and insults the game or kind of is overwhelmed with the game, we sometimes can get a little bit passionate and impatient about like letting them know that they're wrong. On the other end of the spectrum, there are people who remember what Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like as a kid and remember that playground thing, and so they want to try this game out and they don't have such a great experience with it. I think the crucial part to Yu-Gi-Oh!'s success, especially in the future, is how can we kind of like meld those 2 groups. I'm not going to get into it too much now, but I think that alternative formats is one of the things that people sort of cite. Like I mentioned, Master Duel making better tutorials, and also just, you know, some forms of coaching, content creator collaborations, things like that, that show Yu-Gi-Oh! In the best light that we can to outsiders. It is easy to forget that as a noob, this game is overwhelming. There is a lot of card text. There are long combos. You can face decks that won't let you play. Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be fun and you can deal with them, but you have to get there first. And I think our responsibility as players is to make sure that we do not allow situations like, you know, the Papa Mutt situation, you know, where people just leave and we kind of, you know, cheer on the fact that, you know, we won, we got him. I don't think that's a win. I think that we should all kind of be ashamed of that. This was not a good sort of scenario for anybody involved. So yeah, I want to hear what you guys think about it. I also do have a small quick announcement that you may or may not have seen. Alec and I will be playing in a Master Duel series that Konami actually did called Master Duel Deck Flexing. The first episode, I believe, drops this Friday on the official Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG channel, I suppose. I'm not exactly sure. But yeah, we'll be hosts, and each week we're going to be having different guests that are mainstream, kind of just different content creators and stuff. So it's a great example of using, showing Yu-Gi-Oh! In a good light and kind of pulling in people from outside communities with a little bit of coaching, a little bit of narration, and showing them that it can be fun. So be sure to tune into that and check it out. Anyways, yeah, I don't think this is a great situation. I hope that it can maybe be rectified in some way, or at least that in the future we don't allow it to happen. We always have to remember that despite how much hyperbole and exaggeration and arguing can go on in the internet, we're all still human beings. Help people out, make Yu-Gi-Oh! Seem fun, and make the community itself seem fun and welcoming. Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one. Pass turn.